Ever wonder how that crunchy, delicious almond snack got from a tree to your hands? It's a journey that's way more fascinating than you might think. Today we're diving deep into the world of almond farming and processing, following these little nuts from the orchard all the way to becoming your favorite salted almonds and toffee treats. It's a massive operation, and the scale is truly mind-boggling. So grab your snacks, and let's get started. Our story begins in sunny California, where over 80% of the world's almonds are grown. An almond orchard is a beautiful sight, especially in late winter when the trees burst into a sea of pink and white blossoms. But this beauty is also a critical first step. For almonds to grow, these flowers need to be pollinated, and that's a job for millions of honeybees. Farmers bring in beehives from all over the country just for this short but crucial pollination window. It's a massive mobilization of bees, one of the largest pollination events on the planet. Each successfully pollinated flower will eventually become an almond. Over the spring and summer, the nuts mature inside a fuzzy green hull, protected by a hard shell. You might think they look like small, unripe peaches. You're not far off. Almonds are actually related to peaches, plums, and cherries. As summer heats up, the hulls split open, exposing the almond shell to the warm air and sun. This is the tree's way of telling the farmers, "Hey, I'm ready." The nuts begin to dry naturally right there on the branch. This is a critical drying phase that ensures the almonds don't spoil and have that perfect, firm texture we all love. Then comes the harvest, typically between August and October. And this isn't done by hand. The scale is just too immense. Instead, farmers use specialized machines called tree shakers. These machines clamp onto the trunk of an almond tree and shake it vigorously for just a few seconds. It's an incredible sight to see a shower of almonds raining down onto the ground. The shakers are incredibly precise, designed to get every last nut without damaging the tree itself. It's a perfect blend of power and delicacy. Once the almonds are on the ground, they're left to dry in the sun for another week or two. This further reduces their moisture content. Then, another machine, a sweeper, comes along. It uses brushes to neatly gather the almonds into long rows or windrows down the center of each orchard aisle. It looks like someone is meticulously raking a giant Zen garden. Following the sweeper is the harvester, or pickup machine, which vacuums up the almonds, along with some dirt, twigs, and leaves, into a large cart. This mix of nuts and orchard debris is then transported from the field to a nearby processing facility, known as a Huller-sheller. Now, the real sorting begins. At the Huller-sheller plant, the almonds go on a wild ride through a complex system of rollers, screens, and fans. The first step is pre-cleaning, where sticks, rocks, and other field debris are removed. Think of it as a giant high-tech obstacle course designed specifically for almonds. The nuts are then sent through hulling machines, which use rubber rollers to gently crack open and remove the soft outer hull. These hulls aren't wasted. They're a valuable byproduct, often sold as nutritious livestock feed. After hulling, the almonds are still in their hard protective shells, so they move on to the shelling stage. They pass through shelling rollers, which are carefully calibrated to crack the hard shell without damaging the delicate kernel inside. It's a precise operation. If the pressure is too high, the nuts will break. Too low, and the shells won't crack. After shelling, the mixture of kernels and shell fragments is separated using a series of screens and air jets. The lighter shell pieces are blown away, while the heavier almond kernels continue on their journey. But the sorting isn't over yet. The almond kernels now travel along conveyor belts to be electronically sorted. High-speed cameras and infrared sensors scan every single almond, identifying and removing any that are discolored, chipped, or still have bits of shell attached. Jets of air precisely puff the rejects off the line, ensuring that only the highest quality almonds make it through. It's a stunning display of modern food technology happening at lightning speed. Finally, human sorters give the almonds one last look over, a final quality check, to catch anything the machines might have missed. They tumble through a series of vibrating screens with different-sized holes. Smaller almonds fall through the first screens, while larger ones continue down the line. This sizing is important because different sizes are used for different products. Some are perfect for slicing, others for slivering, and the rest for selling whole. Once sorted, The raw natural almonds are packed into large bins or boxes, ready to be stored in controlled environments or shipped to food manufacturers around the world. Let's talk about turning these perfect kernels into the snacks we crave. For salted almonds, it's all about the roasting. The raw almonds are typically roasted in one of two ways: dry roasting or oil roasting. Dry roasting involves tumbling the almonds in a large, heated, rotating drum. This brings out their natural flavor and gives them a satisfying crunch without adding any extra fat. For oil-roasted almonds, the nuts are quickly cooked in hot oil, which also enhances their flavor and texture. Immediately after roasting, while the almonds are still hot, they are lightly coated with a fine mist of salt or a saline solution. The heat helps the salt adhere perfectly to the surface of each nut. They are then quickly cooled to lock in that crunchy texture. It's a delicate balance to get just the right amount of salt without overpowering the natural, nutty flavor of the almond. And what about something a bit more decadent, like almond toffee? This is where culinary art meets food science. The process starts with creating the toffee itself. Large kettles are used to heat a mixture of butter and sugar to a very specific temperature, known as the hard crack stage, which is around 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 150 degrees Celsius. Precise temperature control is key here. It's what gives the toffee its signature brittle, crunchy texture. If it's not hot enough, the toffee will be chewy. It's too hot, and the sugar will burn. Once the toffee reaches the perfect temperature, a generous amount of chopped or whole roasted almonds is stirred into the bubbling golden liquid. This mixture is then quickly poured onto large cooling tables. Before it has a chance to fully harden, it's often spread into a thin layer. Sometimes an additional layer of melted chocolate is spread on top, followed by another sprinkle of finely chopped almonds. After the slab is completely cooled and hardened, it's broken into bite-sized pieces, ready to be packaged. From the careful pollination of a single flower to the complex dance of machines and the final touch of a confectioner, the journey of an almond is truly remarkable. So the next time you enjoy a handful of salted almonds or a piece of crunchy toffee, take a moment to appreciate the incredible process and the billions of nuts that make it all possible. It's a testament to the ingenuity of farmers and food producers who bring these simple, delicious treats to our tables. What an amazing journey for such a small nut. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of almond processing. If you found this as fascinating as we did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes looks at how our food is made. See you in the next video.